The Islamization of the West has taken a new turn. It went from liberal atheists chanting for jihadists to pious nuns and priests doing the same.
This is genocide on steroids.
Hating Israel has united all warring factions, and I'm here to tell you all about it. It will blow your mind, so grab your soda, get your popcorn ready. We are descending into the layer of ridiculous anti-Israel propaganda from the clergy, the leftists, the self-proclaimed centrists, and the famous victim of an alleged demon attack.
The best channel on YouTube.
One of these nuns' moronic claims have to do with so-called Christian lands.
We are closed off in Bethany from going to our convent in Jerusalem because of the wall that was built on Palestinian land, on Christian land.
But what is a Christian land? This is her definition.
The wall was built right beyond Lazarus' tomb, from where Martha and Mary lived. St. Jerome translated the Bible in Bethlehem.
So what? Jesus went to Egypt and it used to be 100% Coptic. Paul and Peter planted churches in modern-day Turkey. That's where the Nicene Creed was drafted. It used to be 100% Christian. And it's the same for Syria and Lebanon. Even the places she mentioned, Bethany, Bethlehem, and so on, those places used to have a Christian majority population. But now their population is a Muslim majority. But this nun has no problem with that. Her problem is Israel. Israel is stealing Christian lands that have a Muslim majority population who replace their original Jewish name with Arabic names.
It was called Ephraim. It's now called Taiba, which means the good or the beautiful.
Yes, it's lovely when Arabic names make it to Christian lands, but heaven forbid that the Jews, the original owners of the land, get to reclaim what is historically theirs and restore it with the names they used to bear before the Arab invaders came and stole it.
What are we doing?
For hours, Tucker Carlson and this nun, we are whining about borders.
We are closed off in Bethany from going to our convent in Jerusalem because of the wall that was built. It wasn't done for security to build that wall. It was done simply to expand the borders of Israel. It's not separating Israel from Palestine. It's separating Palestine from Palestine.
They went right through Christian land. Did Christians in the West say anything about this?
Tucker, this part of the U.S. used to be Mexico, but now it isn't. And a border wall is there separating Mexico from Mexico. Mexico is a Christian country with more Christians than you can find in the Middle East. Trump is deporting Mexican Christians in part of the U.S. that used to be Mexico. And where is your outrage? He's building a wall to keep these Mexican Christians out of the Christian land that used to belong to them. And you support it. You voted for it. These people are Christians, but you don't care. Unless it's Israel, right? Then having a land by conquest and building walls around it is an evil against the 12 Christians still living in the area. For Israel, Tucker is suddenly a huge fan of open borders.
That's interesting.
For this nun, Israel is the reason for the decline of the Christian population in the West Bank.
I keep reading that the Christian population in the region has declined dramatically since Israel became a state in 1948.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure why.
The whole issue is that Israel has continued to grow and think that they can dominate the Christian areas, the areas of Palestine. So they make it very difficult for anyone else to be able to live there.
Okay. Take Bethlehem as an example. Its population has grown from 8,000 in 1948 to 29,000 today. Israel couldn't stop this population growth, but it could shrink the Christian population from 85,000 in 1945 to 12,000 in 2017. Yet, the Muslim population skyrocketed from 13% in 1945 to 85% in 2025. Yet, Israel allowed the Christian population in its territory to grow from 50,000 in 1948 to 183,000 in 2024. 77% of the Christians in Israel are Arabs, yet they are allowed to survive and thrive. They are more prosperous than Arab Muslims, despite making up 9% of the Arab population. A minority within a minority is doing so well. Their women are even more educated than Jewish women in Israel. This nun claimed that most Christians in the Holy Land live in the West Bank.
That's all within Palestine. And so that's the predominance of the Christian population there.
But that's false. They live in Nazareth and are called Nazarenes, the same name the early Jewish Christians bore. And they've begged Tucker to bring them on his show to discuss the actual state of most Christians in the Holy Land. But Tucker would rather talk to the president of Iran than to these Christians.
And
now watch this nun tell us how effective her ministry has been.
did you make any converts in Palestine?
I will say that I do know there's Muslims that have converted to Christianity, but it's not something you can do openly.
Wow, 30 years as a nun in the West Bank and not one convert. Christian converts are increasing in Iran and even in China. So, Nne, what is your excuse?
You know, the interesting thing is I'm Orthodox. And in Orthodoxy, we aren't really a proselytizing faith. It's a faith that becomes of what you are and how you live. You know what I mean? It says you don't actively do missionary work in a lot of cases. Mostly it's just by your example. And that was the first Christians, right? And who were martyrs.
Interesting. So Jesus didn't tell his disciples to go into all the world and preach the gospel, starting in Jerusalem and Judea, which is currently in the West Bank. Peter on the day of Pentecost, Philip to the Ethiopian eunuch and the people of Samaria, Paul and his missionary journeys through Asia Minor, and he even told Timothy to do the work of an evangelist. These passages aren't in the Eastern Orthodox canon. No, but this woman would rather lie about the Bible than let the world know that Palestinian Muslims kill apostates just like every other good, pious Muslim.
And we're proud of that. Yeah.
When it comes to defending Islam and Hamas, this nun lies more than Mohammed hijab. Like Christians and Muslims just have a difference of opinion, if you will, and they can live with that. I mean, they recognize Jesus as a prophet, but just want to fight and subjugate Christians for believing that Jesus is the Son of God. And pious Muslims are not jihadists, not the ones she knows, except when they tore a Jew to pieces, and this man showed his hand to the crowd in gleeful celebration. Christians and Muslims have a lot of commonalities, like compassion for your neighbor, except if he's a non-Muslim, then you fight and subjugate him, and don't ever be his friend or ally. They love taking care of their families. Unless a member is an apostate, then honor killing isn't haram. They do fastings like us, skipping lunch and having 2 huge banquets every day for 30 days. And Hamas is a resistance movement, simply people fighting for their people, trying to protect their land. Yes, that's why they fire rockets from churches, schools, and hospitals. That's why they steal aid. That's why Yahya Sinwar was the butcher of Khan Yunis, protecting his people by killing them. Hamas is not jihadist, nothing like that. Even though their charter says otherwise. And what's happening in Palestine is genocide on steroids. Yes, that explains why the population keeps increasing.
That's not what they're about.
That's a pro-Palestine protest in Brussels, and everyone there is rich in ignorance. They are cosplaying this vicious murderer, showing his blood-soaked palms to a bloodthirsty mob in Ramallah. This was the lynching of 2 IDF soldiers who found themselves on the wrong side of town. They were beaten, stabbed, shot, set ablaze, and their mutilated body was dragged across the street. This is what a British photographer who was there had to say about the lynching. It is the most horrible thing I've ever seen, and I have reported from Congo, Kosovo, and many bad places. It was murder of the most barbaric kind. When I think about it, I see that man's head all smashed. But these people support this, and they want to see this happening from the river to the sea.
I wish I was more educated.
I'm not either.
Ricky Jones, the face of 2-tier justice in the UK, he was on camera saying this.
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all.
Apparently, that doesn't count as encouraging violent disorder because a jury just found him not guilty of the offense. The jury didn't take more than 30 minutes to reach a verdict. What's unacceptable are tweets about deporting refugees. That will get you a 30-month jail sentence. A racist Facebook post will get you a prison sentence and a £155 surcharge. And if you dare distribute anti-immigration stickers, you get 2 years in prison. But look, according to Keir Starmer, the UK has freedom of speech, and there is no 2-tier justice in the UK either. But racism is not allowed there unless targeted towards fascist and Nazi bigots.
Free Palestine!
This commune in France is in the news lately thanks to its 29% migrant population. An open-air screening of Barbie in this commune has been cancelled after Muslim youths complained about it. By complaining, we mean they protested, about 15 of them, and threatened to destroy movie equipment and disrupt the screening, prompting the mayor to call off the event due to safety concerns. The movie advocates homosexuality and attacks women's integrity, says the follower of a prophet who was reading by the men of Al Zut and who said women have a deficiency of the mind. But don't worry, France. Emmanuel Macron has great plans to tackle the threat of Islamist extremism. His first step, of course, is bringing more Muslim refugees from Gaza. That's how you do it.
It is crazy.
Check out this tweet. Breaking: the Israeli occupation army detonates booby-trapped robots in central and northern Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. Wow, so Israel has booby-trapped robots, and Anas, the dead journalist, is still tweeting. The replies to this tweet are priceless. This one says, wow, you are telling me there is Twitter in hell. Or this one, he is risen. Yes, he is the kafir wearing Jesus from Palestine we've been hearing about. And this one says, glad to see this Al Jazeera journalist still reporting after he was murdered 4 4 days ago. Talk about work ethic. What is your excuse? Exactly. My favorite has to be this one. Anas al-Sharif is still tweeting even after his death. Glory to God. Indeed, God is capable of all things. Or like we say in Nigeria, what God cannot do, it can never ever exist. No. Palestinian journalist Suleiman Hiji says Gaza's famine can't be described. And I can see why. That's the journalist in question. And as you can see with your lying eyes, the starvation is real. Look at him starving away with a snack going straight into his mouth. Probably his last meal. Oh, here he is feasting on his last plate of ice cream. And now he's begging. Oh, wait, those are peanuts. His last, of course. Wait, what are those? Is that food? Are they smiling? Wow, this starvation is really unprecedented. Words truly fail him in describing how he's already exhausted due to the lack of food and water. Sadly, pro-Israel groups are attacking him online, casting doubt on the work he publishes on social media. I mean, how? How can anyone look at this brave journalist and doubt that Gaza is really starving? I mean, how?
How, Sway? You ain't got the answers, man.
This is another great journalist from Gaza. This one has appeared on the BBC's Arabic channel more than 12 times, and that's why one of his 2022 Facebook posts says, when things goes awry for us, shoot the Jews, it fixes everything. One of his 2011 Facebook posts says, my message to the Zionist Jews, we are going to take our land back. We love death for Allah's sake, the same way you love life. We shall burn you as Hitler did, but this time we won't have a single one of you left. Elsewhere he posted, we are all Hamas, you son of a Jewess. And that is what counts for journalism these days. And the BBC's Arabic channel has no qualms with platforming him.
We don't care about death. We love death.
This successful lawyer in Gaza was just killed in a targeted attack by the IDF. I mean, what was his offense? Well, kidnapping an Israeli on October 7 and holding him hostage. Here he is committing the crime. Yes, he was a lawyer indeed. And we all remember this great doctor in Gaza who was killed as Israel was rescuing some hostages. And it turned out that he was keeping the hostages in his house. Of course, that's what doctors do. Hamas fighters could be murderous peace terrorists, but they are also lawyers, doctors, and journalists, as well as women and children.
That's what they do.
Anna Kasparian has a new revelation.
I had no idea that Muslim religion believes in Jesus as a prophet.
Yes, and that's why they are commanded to fight and subjugate Christians in Surah 9:29. The next verse accuses us of calling Jesus the Son of God. Allah wants us dead because we fail to see Jesus as only a prophet who was just the son of Miriam, the sister of Aaron, and who also wasn't crucified. And guess who is behind Anna's ignorance?
It was propaganda from Israel to get Americans to hate all Muslims so that when Israel kills them and takes their land, you were going to say, well, I mean, what are you going to do? The Muslims are the terrorists, not the Israelis, but the victims are the terrorists.
This is unbelievable. Did Israel also write the Quran and put all the violent verses in it? Did Israel invent a time machine, go back in time and tell Muhammad that Jews think Ezra is the son of God? Are they the reason why jihadists in northern Nigeria have killed over 25,000 Christians in the last 15 years alone? Is Israel the reason why this man is fat, sweaty, angry, and painfully stupid?
F all of you for driving that hatred.
Tucker Carlson had this to say about Sharia law.
You should know, Seth, that the real danger is Sharia law. And you can tell when you go to a place like Abu Dhabi or Riyadh, like, oh man, I hope we don't ever wind up with a society like this with a rape rate of 0, where you leave your keys in your Lamborghini and don't ever worry about it being stolen. And, you know, if people want to get wasted, they do it at home. You know what I mean?
Yes, Sharia is good. Just look at Riyadh in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi in the UAE. Forget that slavery is still alive and well in both countries, or the restriction on Christianity in their laws. On the upside, they have the Princess Misha treatment for adulterous women and the Khashoggi treatment for crazy journalists like Tucker Carlson, who are now huge fans of Islamic terrorism. I mean, what is wrong with Sharia? Polygamy, child marriage, FGM, wife beating, killing of apostates, blasphemy law, the dimitude of Jews and Christians, and amputation for petty theft. Look, I already foresaw Christians for Palestine by the end of 2024, but Christians for Sharia wasn't on my bingo card for 2025. At this rate, Tucker might dethrone hijab as the face of dawah. Okay, this is where you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. The video is over. Just hit the like button and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you in the next one.